guys, welcome to Moody Blooms. Today I'm going to show you how I trim an overgrown planter. So I love the way that this looks. I like it hanging over the side, but my kids keep bumping it and so it keeps losing a bunch of leaves. So to kind of save it and propagate some of these beautiful succulents, I'm going to go ahead and trim some of them back just to kind of make the center of this really full. So what you're going to need is a sharp pair of clean shears. And while I'm trimming this back, I always like to clean up the insides. Tweezers, small and some large. These are awesome. I picked these up, the link down below. They're incredible. They get in where you can't reach. They're actually aquarium tweezers, but they get in really hard to reach spots to kind of get out those dead leaves. So anyways, you get the idea. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to trim back the extra long one down here. So what I like to do before I actually trim one off is see how bent that is? See, that's called a child running into it. So that one we're not going to salvage because it's broken. It's a propagated leaf, needs to be healthy, and I think they have the best success rate when they're not damaged. So we'll go ahead and toss that one. I like to take off a few leaves just below where I'm going to cut and go ahead and propagate those leaves. And I have a leaf propagation link video down below, a video for you if you want to learn some more about that. So I like to cut, I'll cut between this leaf and this leaf right about here. And then I'll probably even take off one more of those. That one can be propagated. So a couple options for this. If we're going to go ahead and propagate it in water or soil, we're going to want to make sure that the ends callus over for a few days, depending on your climate, depending on the humidity, but we want to make sure that it doesn't rot. So just set it out for a couple days and you'll see it callusing over the very bottom after it's been a few days. Another thing you can do, which is what I usually do because sometimes I just get lazy or I just have too many propagating in water, is you can just set it right back down in the pot just to kind of fill it out a little bit, and eventually it'll root. Most of these that are growing have been from plants that I just kind of set in there. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure that it's watered so that it has its best chance for survival for the leaf as well as any of the cuttings, because I just find they do better if they've had a really good drink. And sorry my voice is even extra manly today. I always have a deep man voice, have my whole life, but I was at a concert last night, so it's extra raspy, so apologize for that. Anyway, see how this one's extra long and extra leggy? And so what I'll probably do is break it off right about here. And then hopefully we get some new growth. So wherever we remove the leaf, that's where we're hoping to get some new growth. So this guy is extra long. I wouldn't necessarily put it back in there because it's a little bit long, but I can go ahead and propagate a couple of these sections. So see how I've left a little bit of a space there? Go ahead and make a cut right there. Again, we're going to let this callus over for a few days before. This has already been watered. It's pretty dry. Plus these won't even be touching the actual soil, but we can go and just set them in there. And this guy right here, we can actually cut off 2 spots. Then we have 2 of these little sections that we can go ahead and propagate. So again, we can either set them back in here or propagate them elsewhere. Another thing that I do is sometimes I'll reroute the way, like see how this one was super leggy and long, it was kind of hanging all the way over the side like that. So I just kind of brought it back in and propped it up. But for today's purpose, we're going to go ahead and just trim it back a bit. I'll make a cut right about there. Go a little closer so you can see. That way we leave just enough for it to root, and we can also propagate this as well. Let's see. Another thing I like to do is leave at least a leaf or two on the cutting. I just find that they have a better chance to grow new plants if there is a leaf or two to soak up some of that sun. And take off a couple of those bottom leaves. See, here's even another one that's kind of bent. Probably a child's ball or surfboard, something. That guy can just go right back in. Okay. We'll probably make this 2 pieces. So these guys I love. You can see right here, I trimmed it right here, and then these 2 shoots grew out from there. So I'll probably leave this guy on here. And then since this one has such a long stem in between the last root, I like to leave a shorter stem on there. I find that they root faster if you leave a shorter stem. I find that if I leave a longer stem, it takes a longer to propagate. So we'll do this one in a couple sections as well. Oops, damaged that one. That one's gonna be tossed. See how this guy's kind of extra leggy over here? We'll go ahead and see again, another damaged leaf. And you want to make sure that when you are doing leaf propagation, see, look here. See, I took this off and it left a little bit of the stem of the leaf. I want to make sure that you get the whole leaf. That won't propagate with it damaged like that. So go ahead and toss that. Okay, and since this one isn't like, that attractive looking, I just kind of tuck it back in there until it grows some new beautiful rosettes. So we'll take off a couple of these bottom leaves. Oh gosh, again, see I damaged that one. Should be careful to twist gently. And again, you want to make sure that they've had a good drink prior to cutting them back. Let's see. I'll put some of these larger ones where there's a bigger kind of gap. Okay, let's see where this guy can go, where he won't be seen so much. I just don't like the look as much when they've been trimmed back like that. I'll probably just trim this one. So you can set them right back where they were cut, and then it won't even look like you've devastated the plant. I'm gonna route this one over here. Actually, I'm gonna just trim that one back and then set it in. Another thing you can do is kind of just toss those leaves in there. Just make sure if they do rot that you do try to get the dead out of there, because they will attract bugs if there's lots of dead. I'm gonna trim this guy too. I'm literally just gonna trim it back and then stick it right back where it was, just so it's a little bit more compact. This guy I'm going to make into 2 cuttings, just so I don't see the top. And then you can just go back in there. So normally I would have just probably kept it trailing over until it started to get, you know, too leggy looking, but let's see, I'll probably trim this one back too. But again, just because my kids were kind of destroying them. Let's see, we'll cut that there. We'll just set that guy back in here. See? Wouldn't even know. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but my camera shut off. Bummer. Anyways, I was in the process of, here, let me scoot this back so you can see better. I was in the process of trimming this guy back. I took off these leaves right here. So I'll have this beautiful cutting to set back in. And then I'll probably take another cutting from this guy just because he's really leggy in here. See how he's kind of just keeps winding its way through. We'll actually make a couple of these. And they can be set back right in there, or you can put them in a different pot. But so not the same look as I had before, but definitely more compact. Definitely going to be a little more safe from my kids hitting it as they walk by it because it sits on the front porch. But anyways, if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments section below. Whoopsie. Lost that guy. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I love your questions. I love your suggestions. Anything that you want to let me know. Love to hear it. Have a wonderful day. Please join us next time on Moody Blooms.